This is Lost Planet Extreme Condition, or well, I guess you would say the Colonies edition, which was a kind of re-release with extra content version of this game. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. And let's dive into the action. So what are we getting here? It's 720p, 30 FPS. Now, very interestingly, for this game, they did have kind of like a 1080p mode, which could unlock the frame rate, at least back in the day, though I don't know how you would trigger that sort of thing on the modern consoles, so you're kind of just stuck with that frame rate. And yeah, this is Lost Planet, which is a series I absolutely loved. You are on EDN3, and it's after Earth's conditions become too hostile for humans due to war, global warming, pollution, all that other stuff. Nevik sends you out to this place to try to, well, make anew, except you have this alien species called Akrid, who kind of, are problems that you battle against, and they also, interestingly, generate their own heat. Can I finally go? Thank you. So, yeah, they've got some thermal elements to them, and that makes them very interesting to us. But yeah, I really like the series. Part of it is the campaign, part of it is the multiplayer. And for me, this one was largely about the multiplayer. I loved playing the multiplayer in this game, because you shoot things, blast stuff, use huge weapons, or jump into giant mechs and absolutely just cause carnage for everything in your wake. So for this one, since it was basically like the same sort of thing, what I had done for Colonies was basically just do the multiplayer portion. And I gotta say, I really wish we had people for multiplayer, because the multiplayer in this is so good. It is just ace. It is excellent. Because it's just really fun and competitive and just like kind of a rather crazy time. This franchise changed a lot over the releases, and I'm still hoping that someday there's room for more Lost Planet, because this franchise is actually really, really cool. It really genuinely is. Oh, and you're fighting in this, like, snow age here, and there's snow pirates. Yeah, it's a great time. Well, that's genuinely terrifying. I don't know about you guys, but I got a bad feeling about this one. Mission failed. Really? Is it the giant creature out there? At least the restarting is a lot faster. Anyways, it's a really, really cool series. It's a third-person shooter, and it's just like, it's got all this really neat stuff to it. Very snow-focused, missions, levels, everything like that. And you fight all these crazy, like, bug-type monsters as you're trying to fight to gain, like, thermal resources, and it's got such a distinct vibe to it. And I think it still does actually visually hold up quite well. Like, there are some jaggedy aspects to it in regards to the visuals, but it's still, to me, a pretty good-looking game. And still something that's very easy to be like, hey, campaign's kinda cool. Although, like I said, the multiplayer for me was like the highlight portion of this experience, and I think it would be a little hard to find folks these days. It was also really cool because it was such a global kind of game too, because it would show like what country you are when you're like playing against others, and it was always like intensive. Like, you'd be doing things where you're doing like kind of straight up sort of deathmatch stuff, or you might be like battling in the mechs, and there's like a different range of weapons and tools, and it had such like a crazy level of conflict to it. It was an absolute blast every step of the way. And then you use more energy when you get into the giant mechs, but the mechs are the real fun part of this. Are you guys just chilling down here this whole time? You got the giant bug things to kill, and you guys are just like hanging out. Holy, okay. But what was so neat is like while you have these giant, crazy, cool mechs, you have to also like manage your energy. Oh, I am freezing to death. So it's like, you know, you can fight and shoot and destroy things, but like if you know, don't have the health, like the energy for it, you're just gonna die. Or you can't use things if you don't have enough energy if you're trying to do giant mechs. And I thought that was just a really interesting layering to the game. This is also where I get the most intensive element of like, when you are playing a game you need to shoot the glowy bits. To me, this all really originates to this one for my style of like, whenever it's like, oh, shoot the gooey bits, I just think Lost Planet. Because this one really did accent that. Oh, what a move! Look at these crazy cutscenes too. Oh no, Papa! There's lots of like map packs to this one and extra content. And I guess if you run the Windows version, you got to have like Frank West in it, which is kind of cool. So I think the campaign is still pretty neat if you've never played it. And then the sequels are pretty interesting in their own ways as well. And this one does have, because it's the Colonies edition that I'm showcasing here, this one does have some additional, like, campaign-type modes that you can play. So it does kind of extend the core game a little bit past that, like, original vision for it. Which is pretty cool. You know, just kind of takes that experience a little bit further. Imagine escaping a hostile, unlivable Earth and then ending up on a an Ice Age planet. Rough, eh? The Lost Planet. I think this one holds up pretty nicely. I really love this franchise. It's such like a niche, weird thing that I don't know if tons of folks are super familiar with, but it is a great, great series. It really is. Great shooting, the grappling hook stuff. Maybe even ahead of its time, some would say, with the grappling hooks, but... yeah, and then you get these really engaging, intense cinematic moments, too. Which, for the time, I think were pretty solid and good looking. It was a pretty early gen release, like decently early.
Full of surprises. That device on your
So there was the first release, and then I think like about a year later there was the Colonies edition, which is obviously what we're playing here.
Yuri, can I come in now?
The thermal energy and your arm will be our little secret. It's complicated. Come in.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Huh? Who are you? Me? I'm Yuri. That's Luca and Rick. Do you remember your name?
They look like the cast of SSX Tricky. I've probably never noticed that back in the day. Yeah, score attack mode, trial battle mode, unlimited mode too. And, fascinatingly, this version had cross-platform play between 360 and PC in the games for Windows Live.
It might just be temporary amnesia.
And your saves and stuff were not compatible, so it's a completely separate release and entity. Which I think was annoying because I had to like redo all my multiplayer effort. Oh, and the suits, which are giant mech suits, is like VS's vital suits.
How's it going?
I just remember a lot of furiously pressing B with others on these command posts in order to build them up.
Looks like you're starting to get used to life here.
I don't know about that.
Come on inside. I'll fix you something to warm you up.
Thanks.
Isn't there some way around?
I like how despite them wearing these intense snowsuits, that she still has intense cleavage. It's actually impressive how they pulled that off. Like, wouldn't that be cold?
If only one of us could pilot
Like, wouldn't that give you chills?
I can.
What?
Huh?
Can?
I remember how to pilot one.
We need your help, Wayne. We can't
Seriously,
use
though,
you
look
as
at
a
that.
pilot.
How did they manage
We're
that?
trying to eradicate
That's what he was
the
looking
from
at.
this world.
He wasn't looking at her
One
direction.
eye
He was
at a
looking down
time.
at a certain spot.
Green eye that killed your father is one of them. We're
Papa.
looking into finding that one, but in the meantime, we could really use your skill.
What happened to the rest of the army I was with?
Show me to the first hive.
We do know of one in the vicinity, but are you sure you're up to this?
Quite.
All right, I'll give you the details.
That text is so low resolution. This one would really, really look impressive with like a bit of a resolution bump up, like honestly. Mission 1.
Wayne, you should be able to use that VS. At least it beats walking.
Ready. Initializing.
Oh, isn't that just quaint? Mix of like old vehicles and huge oceanic areas. This was such an interesting time in gaming, honestly.
So you can refuel at active ones.
Because, like, scale-wise, you could do ridiculous things. Oh, I missed you, you giant annoying monsters. Oh, this takes me back. This is such a great franchise. Seriously, I think it's just ripe to do something exciting with. Gonna make me get out of my giant mech? Oh well.
Make sure to use your light in the dark.
Yeah, it's not really dark in here. Yeah, I remember just, like, so the gameplay was really, really interesting, particularly from, like, a multiplayer's perspective. It was, like, just try to think of, like, how this is sort of almost, like, a little wonky and how you, like, throw grenades and move and, like, kind of use your grappling hook and stuff. And that's what made this so special, was just the dynamics of the ridiculousness. Because your character would also get, like, thrown wildly off into, like, the distance at times and be, like, stunned. And you really had to be, like, creative in how you fought others. It was fantastic. Yeah, and then the aggressive moving the post up.
You've activated the data post. Now that it's online, you can check the map with your PDA.
Kind of miss my mech. And yeah, the teabagging stuff. Snow pirates.
Equipment like weapons or even a VS might be buried underneath the snow.
Oh yeah, got the rocket launcher. Because yeah, it really does have like a bit of a wonky kind of movement to it, doesn't it? I miss the ridiculousness of the series. Maybe I should have saved the rocket launcher for this big boy. But I love the designs of the monsters and stuff. And then also, again, like, just kind of the technology at the time was really, really cool, because you can see, like, the big imprints on the snow. I guess if you did this in the modern era, you'd have to do some, like, really crazy snow deformation. But you feel like you're in this lost planet that's just been snowed over. Yeah, that's perfect, isn't it? My only issue here is I'm not using the grappling hook enough. Because it was so, like, wonky to jump up to places, but that was always, me, a very intriguing aspect of it. Do I shoot the coin? Well, that was stupid of me. Ah, that was genuinely dumb. Okay. Any other cool places I need to grapple onto? Okay, let's roll. That's so funny. Absolutely just, like, destroy myself with the rockets. Ah, such a thing. Yeah, it would actually be really legitimately cool to see what a modern interpretation of this would be like.
The boulders in your area could fall at any moment. You might be able to use them to your advantage, but be careful not to get crushed yourself.
I'll keep that in mind. Do I actually have to kill these things? Not the brightest enemies. I would actually love, like, a remastered package of these. Incredible. You really, like, you feel like your character is just in, like, this completely snowy area. You gotta remember too, your life is, like, completely managed by the energy force you have. It was an interesting gameplay mechanic, because it changed up how you think about your life, because your life is your heat. And your heat is your life. Going right into the hive. Which is a loading screen. Oh wow, no, instant loading.
Sensors are indicating a very large heat signature up ahead.
And of course, we've got the fun Gatling gun. This is what I'm talking about where we get big guns. An energy gun? Oh, I kinda... I think the energy gun's better. Now the problem is it takes your energy to use the energy gun.